Good evening, Mount Vernon, and welcome to the Mount Vernon City Council Public Session. Today is June 26, 2024. Just before we begin, we're going to do a little housekeeping. At the rear and front on your right-hand side are exits. Just in case of emergency, there is a stairwell to the right of the rear exit. There is a ladies' room directly outside council chambers, and down towards the rotunda stairs, there is a male restroom. Outside of the planning department doors, there is an AED machine, which is an artificial defibrillator. Please silence your phones. We're gonna do the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we're gonna go into the public speaking session. Then we are going to ask for an executive session because we have some interviews for some committees. The one thing I would like you to do is silence your phones now. Each speaker has 3 minutes. And then we'll have 1 additional minute. But right now, we're going to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Deputy Clerk Bonilla.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so let's get right into the public speaking session. Do we have Chris Goad in the room or online? No? Okay. Miss Sonia Murray, is she online in the room? All right, Miss Sabrina Powell, she is not in the room. Is she online? Okay, Miss Mary Harris, is she online? She's not in the room. All right, well, I see that Mr. Keller is here. Mr. Keller, can you please come up, state your name and your address?
Thomas Keller, 12 Pasadena Place. All right, the topic I gave Pat Fleming was gas-powered leaf blowers, but I have to sit down with somebody in the clerk's office and go over this. People's registrations are running out and they're not being renewed, and we got to hold these people to account. And then the second thing is the enforcement. No gas-powered leaf blowers until September 30th. So we don't need machines going out there and checking. And do I call DPW? Do I call the police department? I need that question answered. A couple of weeks ago, I had about 5 items, and I misplaced my notes, but I know one of the items was you approve trips for professional development. And I said, it'd be a nice idea if those people that went using the taxpayers' money would write up and tell us what they've learned during this. Now, I went on the website today and I see that, all right. A friend of mine, well, played Little League Baseball, Shane Brooks. He's director of sustainability. Maybe someone can define that. Is that like keeping the infrastructure or the assets, trucks in order? Is it got something to do with climate change? You know, what is it? I guess he's in the DPW department because I think Damani Bush's name was on the letterhead or something like that. He's going out to Milwaukee or someplace on the 22nd or the 26th. So, how about a substantial write-up from what this person has learned during his 4 or 5 days out there? And apply that to everybody, including the mayor. Second, you're supposed to approve this Wakanda celebration on the 31st of August. That's Labor Day weekend, a Saturday, use of Trap Hagen School, and it's going to be co-sponsored by the city. I may not have all the facts here, but I understand from some people in the school district that the mayor wanted to charge the school district $30,000 to use Memorial Field for graduation. I don't know if that was just the high school or the high school plus Davis, high school plus Davis plus Washington. But Washington graduated a week ago Friday or something, and I don't think it was at Memorial Field. And there was a graduation at the high school the last day or two. I saw people with gowns and caps. I don't know if that was a high school or whether Davis was using the high school. But unofficially, the school district is adding up all that they barter with the city, if the city is gonna do this. 35 million from the county, 5 million from the state. We don't have to pay that back as far as I know. This is part of the same taxing district. This is the sister taxing district, the school district. And you want to charge them $30,000? Come on. Mr. President, I got an email here from you on Wagstaff, okay? Did you read the Journal News article about William Wagstaff about 3 or 4 weeks ago? He portrays himself as hard life, coming up on the South Side, like living in Leicester Towers. Middle class family. The father owns 2 gas stations. He played Little League Baseball with my son. He went to Trabagan with my son. He went to Fordham Prep with my son. Then he split. My son went to Fordham. He went to St. John's. He's lucky this scam didn't occur after he was a lawyer, because he'd be disbarred. And it didn't come out in the Journal News article, but it came out. I got an email about, we paid this guy $375,000 to discipline policemen in 2 separate years, $375,000. That's 2.5 times Brian Johnson's salary. You must have approved this. Board of Estimate must. The Board of Estimate must have approved this. I don't know who was the president on the Board of Estimate at the time, 21 or 22. Certainly you were on the council then, and the rest of you 2 years later. What a waste of money. Is my time up? There was another item that you didn't address a couple of weeks ago, but I can't remember what it was.
Thank you, Mr. Keller. Next up, we have Sarah Lois Matthew.
Hi, good
She's
evening.
online.
Yes, I
Thank
am.
you.
Can you hear me?
Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
No, we cannot.
So sorry.
Still can't hear you. Nope. I can read your lips. Is it our end?
Is that better? Can you hear me now?
No.
Yeah. No. I'll retry.
Ed, can you unmute yourself so we can see if it's on our end?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, seems to be us. Okay, hold
Yeah.
on just a moment. Ed, you're all set, right? You're off mute and everything?
I am. Hold on.
Okay, hang on. Thank God we have our Director of Management Services here.
Any better? Yes? Yes? No? Can you hear me? No.
Can you hear me, Sarah?
I
or
can
no?
I can hear.
So Sarah, give us 1 second. We'll get it fixed. Sarah, this is actually typical, so I don't want you to think it's personal. This actually happens a lot. And then watch out that you're muted now.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I can hear you. So
Okay. Is that better? Yeah?
for me, again, though, but they have an issue.
Okay.
So
I got him on my phone just in case. I wasn't sure.
no. It's us. It's something with the audio system in City Hall.
Okay.
So
Testing 1, 2, testing 1, 2.
I can hear you, Commissioner Perez. Can you hear me?
No, I'm not hearing it on our side.
Got it.
So, let's see.
Welcome, Tim. Ed?
Hold on. Yes.
Okay,
Can you
we
hear
can
me?
hear it. Can we put up that volume?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Awesome.
Okay, and Miss Matthew, are you still there?
I am still here. Can you hear me now?
Okay, yes, now we can hear you.
Wonderful. Thank you,
Please,
everyone.
please state your name and your address.
Good evening to
and your
everyone.
issue.
My name is Mrs. Sarah Lloyd Matthew. I'm a resident of 115 South Fourth Avenue, right here in our lovely city. My concern is regarding Municipal City Lot number 1. Earlier this year, as you know, it was raised in a previous city council meeting. I believe it was either January or February that the price had to go up. I know a few constituents and citizens, they were concerned about the sudden price increase, so to speak, of it being, I think, $60 or $65 to $100 per month for use of the municipal city lots per month. My family, we pay for parking there every month, and it's $100 a month. However, it was said in the city council meeting earlier this year that we have to remain on par with our neighboring municipalities, which is understood, like Bronxville, Yonkers, etc. With that being said, we haven't seen much of an improvement with the municipal city lots in the past 5 to 6 months since the increase has gone into effect. So we were anticipating maybe better lighting, some improvement with security, better fencing, a security post, cameras, some type of surveillance, whether it's a person on guard or even security cameras. And nothing to that has been noticed. And we've seen cars damaged. Have had incidences. And we've brought up previously that our car in 1 year has been broken into twice in that same lot. Once when I was pregnant with my last daughter last year in 2023. It was very disheartening, very discouraging, but we have no option. We're citizens here. We need to park. I'm a registered nurse. I have to get to work early in the morning, and I need somewhere to have my vehicle. Also, with that being said, as I mentioned, I pay for the permit parking. On Sundays, it is extremely difficult to find parking. As a registered nurse, I have to work on weekends as well. And it's extremely difficult to get parking sometimes during the day when the church across the street, Grace Baptist Church, is having services day or night because, and I have pictures to show, their members or visitors or whomever are utilizing the parking lot, but not just the metered areas. They're parking in double spaces where there's no parking at all. They're parking where there should be permitted parking. That's not acceptable because they don't even have a permit to park there. And I, who am paying for parking, cannot park. Or my husband, when he drops me off and so forth, cannot come back and find a parking. It's very discouraging. We have tried going there to talk to the church people, to no avail. Almost as if like they can disregard everything we've said. And it's very frustrating. So I'm coming to you, please, my city council, if you can assist with this. Like I said, I have pictures to show. It is unacceptable how they park. Just this past, on Father's Day rather, I made a turn in the parking lot trying to get out and I almost hit someone because they parked double and triple spaces. Like and I know on the weekends, there's no one
You have another
patrolling that
60
area.
seconds.
Thank you. There's no one patrolling that area, but maybe that should be reconsidered because again, we pay for parking just like any other tax-paying, law-abiding citizen. And we would like to see some difference and some change with that. Thank you for listening. I appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Matthew. Do we have Christopher Gold online or in the room? Okay, moving on. That's the last I'm gonna call him. Miss Sonia Murray, is she in the room? Okay, last I'm gonna call. Sabrina Powell, I see Sabrina Powell's in the room. You step up, identify yourself and your address, please.
Council, everyone in attendance. My name is Sabrina Powell.
Please speak into the microphone.
My name is Sabrina Powell. The address is 20 East First Street, Mount Vernon, New York. What else you said? That was it? All right, well, hello. I'm here because, as you know, we have a food truck that we operate every weekend. And the challenge that we have is the parking. So to be able to park that food truck, like when we're by Hartley Park, the cars are there, that's understandable. But I'm out there hours before we serve at between 4:30 to 6. Sometimes we out there till like 7:30. But I have to go outside 10 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock in the morning, wait out there a couple of hours to try to be able to get a park. I was coming to the council to see what suggestions you may have. The one suggestion that I have, is it possible for us to be able to park right there in Hartley Park? We go in, we come in, put the cones down, we serve, we make sure we clean up. Even when we're outside the park, we make sure we clean up. We clean up before we even serve, because, all right, forget that. So that is pretty much it. And also, if you have any suggestions how you can help us, because we definitely are in need of funding. So if you also have any suggestions how you can help. So thank you so much for your time. That's all I'm here for. And I'm really hoping that you can tell me the steps I need to take that we'll be able to just park in the park, like when there's not an event taking place and things like that, that it's understandable. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Powell. Do we have Mary Harris online in the room? Okay, then I am going to start with Councilman Box Hill with their replies to comments.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for coming. Ms. Powell, yeah, that sounds like something we could look into. I guess we could speak to, did you speak to Recreation already? I know no back and forth, but I will speak to Recreation and maybe DPW and see if there's anything we can do to accommodate that. Mr. Keller. I honestly don't think it's a bad idea about bringing back reports when we go on trips. So maybe, you know. Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Sarah went to school together. How you doing? Yeah, I agreed. I mean, increased fees. We should have a great parking lot, at least a safe parking lot. I think that's the bare minimum. So we'll look into that as well. So, but stay on top of us, please. All right. And that's all my comments. Thank you.
Councilman Thompson?
Hi, good evening, everyone. I know it's a little warm. You know, the concerns, I would like to start with Ms. Powell. Just to ask the question, we usually don't have a back and forth, but I just want you to answer this question for me. Is this parking just needed as you're serving the community? It's not like to park overnight or anything like that, right? So it's just parking as you're serving the community for that a lot of time, right? Okay, so I'll speak further with the council as well as DPW police and see how we can get that done, because I don't see an issue with you being able to park inside the park as long as you got it in properly and no one is injured in the process and things of that nature, because we have events in Hartley Park all the time where people are, you know, in the park with their vehicles. So we can see how we can do that, because that will be beneficial for the community, especially serving the community like you do. So any way we can assist with that, we'll get that done. Ms. Matthew, I'm sorry to even hear about this parking issue. I was speaking to residents before, and What concerns me with municipal parking throughout the city is a lot of people are paying parking permits, but they don't have an allotted spot. That's very weird to me. Because if you live in a complex, you get a allotted spot where if you're in spot 14, that's your spot as you pay. And municipal parking throughout the city, they don't have allotted spots, which is very weird to me. So if the parking garage is packed, then you just don't have a spot to park. That's, you know, that's insanity to me. So the city has to figure out a way that they can assign parking spots to people with parking passes, especially when you live close to those buildings. We have to make sure that we find some way to alleviate that headache, because I understand parking is an issue. Mount Vernon is beginning to look more and more like the Bronx and the 5 boroughs when it comes to parking, because years ago, you can come to Mount Vernon any time of the day and find a parking spot. Now, you have to drive around a little bit, which is a little awkward, but we're in different days and times. And as we were growing up, one person in your family may have had a car. Now everyone has a car. So, you know, whether it's a new car, hoopty or what, everyone is driving something. So we have to find a solution in and throughout our city, because this is happening nationwide. However, we serve Mount Vernon, so we have to figure out how we can alleviate that in Mount Vernon. So we'll be in further discussion with that. Mr. Keller, I know you mentioned something about the field. Everyone who utilizes the field pay for what is needed. They're responsible for paying for what is needed for the event at that field. And when it concerns Memorial Field, no matter who it is. So whether they have to pay for police, they have to pay for fire. So all of that is in the budget. It encompasses everything that's needed when they utilize that field. You know, I know we had a conversation before about how many schools are in the district, right? So I just sat here for you to write it down for you. There are 16 public schools, 2 charter schools, 1 Board of Education. So that's why when people pay this much tax to the city and this much tax to the school district, that's why, right? Most communities this size, 4.2 square miles going around, usually have about 4 schools the most. We have 16 public schools. I'll name them for you. I'm still learning the new names for the schools myself. But you have Home School, which is located on Columbus Avenue, Edward Williams on Union Lane, Grimes School on 10th Avenue, Graham School on 5th Street, Pennington on Fairway Street, Trapegan on Lexington Avenue, Mount Vernon High School on California Road, Denzel Washington School on 6th Avenue, STEAM Academy, which used to be Davis on Gramerton Avenue, Columbus School, which is now, I believe, called the STEM Academy, which is on High Street, Mandela, which used to be the old Columbus right there on Gramerton Avenue, of course, from Hartley Park, Hamilton School, which is on Oak Street, Parker School, which is on 6th Avenue, Benjamin Turner, which is on 3rd Avenue across the street from Brush Park, Rebecca Turner, which is 4th Avenue right behind Benjamin Turner, and Lincoln School, which is on Lincoln Avenue. I hope that helps you with the 16 schools. The 2 charter schools are Invictus right here on Gramerton Avenue, and Armani Charter on 3rd Avenue, and the Board of Education, which is 165 North Columbus Avenue. Okay?
No
So
back and
that's
forth.
fine. So
No
I
back
just
and
want
forth.
to clarify that for you. And I also, the next meeting, I'll make sure I get you a calendar. Today was the last day for a public school. So I'll see if they have any more calendars left for this school year, and I'll supply you with that as well.
Are you finished with your comments? Are you finished with your comments?
Yes. So that's all I have now, but I want to do everything I can to help Ms. Powell with that food truck, because that is a great service. You are operating the days that the soup kitchen is not operating. So every day of the week that our community can be served. So that's an awesome thing. Thank you so much. Thank you, Madam President.
Councilman Potteet.
Thank you, Council President. First, can everyone hear me, or am I coming through clearly?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Ms. Powell, always thank you for coming in, and you're in good hands with Councilmember Thompson. I'm sure he'll follow up with the correct people to allow the food truck to be at Hartley Park. Recreation, I would think, would have to be the first sign off, and then probably DPW, but I'm sure Councilmember Thompson can take care of that. Miss Matthew, yeah, I'm happy to follow up with Pastor Mizell over at Grace, unless someone else wants to, just to have that conversation about them parking on permitted lots in that parking lot. Obviously, if you're paying for your permit, church service is church service, but you should be able to park when you want to park, especially on a Sunday. So I'm happy to follow up with Pastor Mizell and just have that conversation with them. And as Councilmember Boxell said, please follow up with us. Lastly, Mr. Keller, thank you for coming in. Two quick comments. One, with the field. The field cost the city roughly anywhere between $700,000 and $800,000 per year. And when we got the field as council, we were very clear that this shouldn't cost taxpayers year in and year out. So we've been very anal about making sure that the field at a minimum is breaking even, which means we do have to charge when events are at the field, even the school system, to make sure we're not going back to taxpayers during budget season and saying, yep, that the field is costing us money and we have to raise your taxes. One other really quick note. I'm very proud of the campaign that my brother William Wagstaff ran. I believe he should be DA. He wasn't, but proud of what he did yesterday. You had some comments around that. I know William to be a very stand-up guy, and I'm personally disappointed that he didn't win yesterday. And that's all that I have to say. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you so much, Councilman Potteet. Oh, and for the record, Councilwoman Brown is out. She is on vacation this week. That is why she is not here. I think the council members pretty much covered everything. One thing I did want to say is, Ms. Matthews, you're still on, right? Okay, so once I saw what the subject matter, which is really important, when anybody calls into the clerk's office to speak, it's really important to give a subject matter because we can actually try and mitigate this before we get to a meeting where we have some answers rather than get your questions and then have to, search down a commissioner. We are under a comprehensive review of all the garages. We went out to a consultant. The last they spoke with DPW was on June 12th. They're awaiting the fee proposals to conduct a condition assessments report for the Stevens Avenue garage, 3rd Avenue garage, and then it will be expanded after that. It's a major, major project. Identifying funds for the repairs of this is going to be the next step after that. So I want to let you know that this is on everybody's radar. It's not happening nearly as quickly as we would like, but that's unfortunately how government works, because we're under the guise of going out for bids, also, identifying the right and proper consultants to make sure they're properly insured, contractors that are properly insured. So we're just at the beginning stages of doing the condition assessment. As it pertains to your permit parking and the church being across the street, I'm going to ask our clerk Walters to call over to the administration over at Grace Baptist and just on a Sunday remind them that they are not supposed to be parking in permit parking, that those are for residents only. We, like Councilman Potteet said, please keep us up to date and follow up with us. Okay, so that we can follow up with them and make sure that they're maintaining that. Because what I've noticed, especially about Grace Baptist, is their congregation actually is out there directing traffic and making sure the flow of 6th Avenue goes well. I'm sure that they would have no problem trying to navigate that into the parking lot where they can have somebody there showing people where they cannot park, And Mr. Keller, always a pleasure. Yes, I did send an email out in support of William Wagstaff. I think he's an incredible attorney, and that's what I'm going to say at that. As it pertains to landscaper enforcement, I totally agree with you. It's annoying to me that we can't get, I honestly want to direct the police and the DPW to start writing citations for the violations that they continue to do upon the city of Mount Vernon. Sabrina, always a pleasure to see you. I see you're out there. The truck is going well. as it pertains to the parking in Hartley Park, I think our councilman addressed that. I don't know, if Clerk Walters, do you have anything to add to that? I know you already submitted a certificate of insurance to the city, I think, when you got your permit, correct? So is there anything additional if she were to, well, I don't know about we've seen vehicles come into Hartley Park, so I guess that's further conversation, right? I actually am not sure it's legal for you to actually block off those parking spaces hours ahead of time, so we're gonna just check into that, because then we could just say, instead of blocking off these parking spaces, maybe we can move it into Hartley Park, which is a great idea. And I always support you guys, however, whatever you guys are doing, and I don't know if I saw the new schedule for July. Did you put it out there already? Okay, okay. All right. So, I think that is it for now. We are going to take a 2-minute, break, and then I'm gonna entertain a motion for executive session to, interview 2 candidates for the Economic, Empowerment Development Task Force. So we'll take a 2-minute break, people, 2 minutes. Welcome back, Mount Vernon. Right now, I will entertain a motion to go into executive session to interview persons regarding the Economic Development Task Force.
I would like to
Motion to
make
go
a-
into executive session?
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Okay, Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, we are going into executive session. Councilman Potteet, do you want a WhatsApp video or
Sure, I can. What number should I call?
you could do mine? I'm at full battery. All
Got
right,
it. We'll do.
okay, thank you. Pause.
Potteet,
I'm here.
hey, did you want me to read for you today or you got it?
I got it. I'll do it. No problem.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll just sign for you.
perfect. Let me punch everything up.
Okay, welcome back, Mount Vernon. I will now entertain a motion to come out of executive session at 8:11 PM.
I make a motion that we exit executive session, so move.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Thank you.
Do I have, okay, here. Okay, let's get into our referral session. Legislation and Public Works. I'm going by Monday sheet, right? There wasn't a. Okay, just want to make sure. That was gonna be led by Councilman Boxell.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like, tally sheet. That's why I asked if I was going by Monday's tally. I don't have another, I don't see another tally sheet here.
1 second.
Maybe it's just the wrong date on it? Okay. All I have is. This is a tally sheet, right? And then this is. Okay, but this was Mondays. Okay, fine. I just want to make sure. Thank you so much, Councilman Boxell.
All right.
Sorry.
Number one, Charter Review Commission and ordinance authorizing the engagement of the National Civic League for 2024 Charter Review Commission. That's on the agenda. Number two, an ordinance from Management Services, an ordinance authorizing the Department of Management Services to issue a request for proposal for a support contract for the Dell VX Rail environment, and that's on the agenda.
Do we want to wait till the end for any questions or? Yes, okay, because we do have the Commissioner of Management Services. If we can ask those questions now, that way we can relieve him. Is that okay with everybody? Are you okay with that? Okay, Commissioner Perez, if you don't mind coming up.
Good evening.
Good evening. Speak into the microphone and identify yourself, please.
Juan Perez, Commissioner of Management Services.
So, can you explain this ordinance authorizing the Department of Management Services? I understand that there's been some interruption in, something that has to do with the VX Rail environment?
Yes, so
Okay.
we've had, as you know, the contract expired. And we wanted to renew with Dell, but we were told we needed to do an RFP for it. Since then, we've actually had some service calls that have needed to be put in with Dell. One of the quotes that we got for the service call, in effect, winds up being almost the total cost of renewing the contract for the year. So what we went back and asked was whether we can go ahead and renew the contract for the year, but still go out and do an RFP for that.
Okay, so my question to you is, for it to be the price that it is, that's why we had to go back to April and not use this, like a July date?
The price, I'm sorry, I'm not sure what the question is in terms of.
Okay, so, actually, I'm jumping around a little bit, right? So let's also talk about the add-on, because this is a direct part of it.
Yes,
Okay, so the add-on has management services and ordinance authorizing the Department of Management Services to utilize ARPA funds for a one-year support contract for the VX Rail server environment. I thought that when I saw the paperwork on that it actually had an April date. Am I incorrect by that, or is it?
the original one was put in April. I may have made a mistake and not updated that date. It was.
Okay,
it
so
should
I
have been
just,
September.
I just think that's important that we make sure that that date, if it needs to be corrected, is corrected.
Okay,
Clerk, how do we go about doing that? Yeah,
well, the.
well, I
agreement-
just want to make sure the referral letter is accurate and then you guys could, whatever the agreement is, you make sure that
The
that is,
agreement did expire in April.
it's expiring in April.
It expired in April, yes,
Expired this past April, so,
yes.
so the reissue of this agreement is starting in this April?
It'll start, it'll be effective, yes, starting April. So we'll
Okay.
it'll basically backfill to the months that we've lost.
So I think my question is, why can't it be a June date since we're doing it? Because we're having to retroactively do this. We're trying not to retroactively do anything.
We can definitely go back to Dell and have them reissue a quote for us to be the June timeframe, but the contract did expire in April.
Okay.
So we've been without a contract since the April timeframe.
Okay, and then, so we're gonna. So you're asking council to approve us to do the maintenance contract.
Correct.
And then you're gonna take the time after, if we approve that, to come up with an RFP to go out for bid for other support services?
I am going to put out a contract, RFP for support for the entire contract. So it would be the VX Rail, the backup, and the software. So basically going out for bid for the entire.
And what date are you gonna make that effective?
We're planning on going to 28th to begin the RFP. If it gets.
No, but at what years is it covering?
It
What
would
years?
then- It would then be for the following year
It'll be for April of 2025?
of 2025, yes.
Okay. Is there any cancellation clause that we have to be concerned about
For our existing
for,
contract,
for this VX Rail if we re-up the maintenance agreement?
not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay,
Typically for these type of contracts, once we were originally in a 3-year contract, which has come to an end. And then typically you go year to year with the vendor.
okay. I'm done with my questions. Anybody else? Okay, I think we're good, Mr. Perez. Do anybody have any questions? Can we relieve Mr. Perez? Thank you, Commissioner. We appreciate you. Moving on, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Commissioner. Number 3, Department of Public Works and Ordinance authorizing the transfer of funds for purchase of a new vehicle for the Department of Public Works, utilizing ARPA funds. That's on the agenda. Number 4,
I'd
Department.
just like to add for that, council have requested some other quotes for other vehicles. And they're within a nominal fee, but this happens to be the one that is available. I won't be voting on this. Are you guys are good with it? Did you have a chance to review those quotes? You're good with it? Councilwoman Potteet, you good with it? Did you see the most recent? I sent you an email with 2 other quotes for the equipment for the Tahoe.
I check my emails all day today. Let me check right now.
Just came at like 7 o'clock.
Oh, that's why. Okay, let me
Okay,
check.
so if you. Yeah, I'm gonna review it while we're going through the referrals for myself, but as of right now, I'm not until I see the other ones. All right, moving
Just to
on.
be clear, so those bids came through or didn't come through?
They were what DPW did was they went out to other car dealers, try to locate a comparable vehicle. So from what I can see, I'm gonna be reading through it because I didn't get to see it till late. They're comparable within about $3,000 of each other,
Got it.
but this particular model is available.
Got it.
The one that was quoted from Sourcewell.
Got it.
All right, moving on.
Okay. Number 4, Department of Public Works and Ordinance authorizing the Department of Public Safety to advertise for resurfacing of various streets in the city of Mount Vernon, New York, 2024, and that's on the agenda. Number 5, Department of Public Works and Ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into contractual agreement with Woodward and Curran Engineering for engineering and architectural design services. That's also on the agenda. Number 6, Department of Public Works, an ordinance authorizing the payment for retroactive repair of the water fountain at Remington Avenue roundabout. And that's on the agenda. We're all good with that now? Okay. Madam President, the roundabout retroactive payment, we're all square with that?
Yeah, I mean, that particular item, they never came to council to get approval to have the repair done.
Right.
So, that's gonna be on. If you guys want to have a discussion about it, we can have a discussion about it right now.
The commissioner, he said kind of spoke on that on Monday.
Mhm.
So I was just saying if everybody.
Okay, so you guys are good with it?
Yes, I'm good with it. The commissioner came in and spoke why, that payment is actually retroactive. He explained that to us on Monday. So I'm comfortable moving forward with that.
All right.
Ed?
I am too. I mean, the commissioner did a mea culpa, and we all make mistakes, so I'm fine with going forward.
Okay, I will say this, that we have said several times that we're not gonna do any more retroactive agreements. But I don't know how many times this has happened with DPW. This may be the first, I'm not sure. But moving on, thank you.
All right, number 7. Department of Public Works, an ordinance authorizing the Director of Sustainability to attend the 2024 National Association of County and City Health Officials Conference at July 22nd to 26th, 2024. And that's on the agenda.
Also like to just add that there is no cost for this particular association conference.
Right.
But was there anything, this one I didn't read. Was there anything there for food and travel in the referral? Nothing is in the referral for that, right? I'm not hearing you.
She said everything is covered.
Everything is covered. Okay, great. So there's no cost to the city whatsoever. Thank you.
Thank you, clerk. Number 9, Department of Public Works, an ordinance authorizing the release of requests for proposal for the procurement of technology companies to conduct a citywide imagery and LIDAR scan, and that's on the agenda.
Wait, did you skip over the roof?
Did I?
Yeah, number 8.
Sorry.
That's
Okay.
okay.
Number 8, Department of Public Works, an ordinance authorizing the release of requests for a proposal for engineering consultant services for the roof replacement project at the police headquarters and court building. And that's on the agenda. My apologies to the
No
police.
worries.
All right, Recreation, number 10. An ordinance granting permission to the Recreation Department to co-sponsor the Ro Linguiza 7th Annual Wakanda Celebration at Trophagon School on August 31st, 2024. And there was a question about the police coverage, and they are requesting auxiliary police for that celebration. And
If I may.
you go ahead.
Press. Yeah, so this celebration, they're only requesting auxiliary.
Correct.
Did we get a response from them whether they're utilizing school safety officers as well?
No, we
No?
did not. Clark, did you know about that? Okay.
No, I'm comfortable with moving forward with that. I just want to make sure that, we provide more safety, because the larger the space, the more people will gather. So we just want to make sure that's.
Yeah, and I think you bring up a very
Yeah.
good point that, we should definitely communicate back to make sure, at least have an idea of how many safety officers are there
Okay.
during that time. So we could determine how many auxiliary we would need, but we would not be sending any paid Mount Vernon Police Department officers over there unless the organizer was willing to pay for it.
And if I may, if they utilize auxiliary, I still believe that they should give some sort of stipend to auxiliary, because they are utilizing their time for something outside of the scope of what their expectations for the city are. So that's just my thought on that. I do think that the auxiliary should have some sort of stipend from that establishment as well.
Okay, moving on.
So that item, you are we moving forward with it? All right. Okay. We'll leave it on the agenda. All right, number 11, Recreation, an ordinance authorizing the Department of Recreation to co-sponsor the backpack event with Henry Allen and the Buddy White Project. And that's on the agenda. Number 12. So the clerk, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Mount Vernon, acknowledging the appointment of members to the Mount Vernon Charter Review Commission by the mayor. And that's on the agenda. Number 13, Office of the City Clerk, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Mount Vernon, acknowledging the appointment of a member of the commission to the Mount Vernon Charter Review Commission. And that's on the agenda. And lastly, Office of the City Clerk, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Mount Vernon appointing members to the Mount Vernon Charter Review Commission by the City Council, and that's on the agenda.
Okay, you have an add-on?
Yes. All right, number 27, Management Services and Ordinance authorizing the Department of Management Services to utilize ARPA funds for 1-year support contract for the VX Rail server environment, and that is on the agenda. And that's all I have for legislation and public works.
Okay, moving right along, we have nothing for human resources. Public safety and codes. Ed, are you able to do that, or would you like the help of another council person?
I sure am able. I'm looking at the tally sheet right now, agenda right now.
Thank you so much. Let's get started.
Let's do it. Item number 15 will be on the agenda. Department of Buildings and ordinance authorizing the transfer of funds within the Department of Buildings budget to hire additional staff for code enforcement. Also, I believe Commissioner Holder is in the room.
Yes, Commissioner, can you come step to the podium, please?
Yeah,
Identify yourself.
Good evening, Council President, council members, Commissioner Holder of the Building Department.
Council President, can I go out of order just so that Commissioner Holder can leave? As soon as
We don't
possible?
have a problem with that.
Okay.
Anybody else?
That's
We don't have a problem with that. Anything that concerns Department of Buildings, we could do right now.
Awesome. So I have two add-ons. Item number 25 will be on the agenda. An ordinance to establish multi-dwelling inspection fees to enable the buildings department to enforce the uniform code. And item number 26 from the Department of Buildings, revision to current contract with La Bella to include building safety inspection. So with that being said, Commissioner Holder, can you explain the legislations that are in front of council?
Well, first and foremost, I want to just direct council people that are in the room that on your desk, you will see that we had asked for the scope of work that was not included with the referral. So I wanted to say thank you so much, Commissioner, because we can't really vote on something just, you know, kind of out there. I know that you said that you would put something together, but this is really important. We also understand how important it is that we get this part completed. And you also understand that this is a temporary situation. This is a temporary fix until you guys are able to get, you know, your bid together and do a comprehensive bid to put out to the public. All right. So if you don't mind, go right ahead.
Yes, as you know, a lot of my requests tonight are predicated by the state board and the time constraints, which just for clarification, we got the report in April 15th, and it was 120-day observation period, so that would end in August. Out of the you know, one of the required action items on that list were inspections that have not been done in the city for 15 years. So, you know, both of the legislation that the councilman has read to you are dealing with getting these inspections done in a timely fashion. State sees that we are cooperative with the so,
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah. So, with that said, you know, the first of the legislation that that Councilman just read off was the fees. We haven't updated our fees in reference to these inspections in quite some time. And so we are asking to bring these up to date with other surrounding cities. And we've done some research to make sure that they're in line with such things, right? The second, of course, is about, we are asking to bypass for now, the RFP process based on, and we know that there's a procurement policy for the city of Mount Vernon that states section 6 detail items accepted from the policies and procedures by city council. And it further goes on to say that in the event the RFP is not used to procure a professional service, no contract shall be awarded without written documentation. So we are, because of the time constraints, we feel that this would fall under the exemption under that particular clause. And that we are, I'm in meetings with the state bi-weekly, and they are definitely watching to see if we get this process started right away. Labella has been contracted with us to do plan reviews, as you know, for quite some time. They came about as a result of our RFP process conducted in February 2023. They have experience and the resources and the bandwidth to address this immediate need. The city is tasked with about an additional 1,500 inspections annually because of this report. And we just don't have the resources in-house to do this. We are currently trying to do all the public assembly inspections with the current staff, but that's tying us up, totally right now. We don't have any additional people to do the multiple dwelling, the non-residential, the operating permits, and a number of other inspections that need to be done. So we want to show good faith to the state that we will now, push the multiple dwellings forward, which are extremely important as they are priority to the state, as well as the public assemblies. And this is the way we're proposing to do it. We also did recommend that possibly we address it immediately, but we go out with the RFP later on this year, possibly, just to get this going. And that's where we are, Council.
Okay, I'll entertain questions, starting with Councilman Potteet. Since
I don't
this
have
is-
any
You have
questions.
no questions? All right, Councilman Boxell?
I'm okay, thank you.
Okay, so I have a lot of questions, okay? Number one, the cost of this. So I see that inspectors are gonna be $125 an hour.
Mhm.
Project coordinators, $85 an hour, client project managers, $185 an hour. My question is, does that cost go on to the applicant?
We have also another legislation, as I said, for the
Permit increases.
permit increases. So we're hoping to balance all of these numbers off with the permit increases. For instance, multiple dwellings with under 10 units are currently 250 in the that I gave you. And anything over 10 units is an additional 250 and so forth. So if those numbers are based on hours, so if an inspector goes in there for 3 or 4 hours to do 30 or 40 units in a large building, then yeah, we're hoping that our fees now will compensate for that. Right?
Okay, who in your office has been identified to keep an eye on that to make sure that that doesn't go over where it becomes a cost to us?
We are currently, my second deputy is overseeing the public assembly inspections, and he will also continue to oversee the multiple dwellings. We've also have legislation in tonight for a clerk, an extra clerk, which will be the person who will be handling the administration on the building department side of all of these 1,500 and more inspections that have to be done annually.
Have you spoken to La Bella? Are they able to start immediately, or how's the rollout of this going to work?
Yeah, I've been in conversations with Labella over the last couple of weeks, and we've put together a large manual on the rollout and how we will be organizing that with them and with us and through our open door system. And we're looking at mobilizing, if this goes through the council, within 2 to 3 weeks after this.
So they have personnel
They have
immediately
personnel.
available?
They have personnel ready. They have up to 5 to 7 inspectors who are certified by the state and qualified to do these inspections that they can go up and going within the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay, one of the concerns that I have, yeah, I'm very happy that you were able to get this to us today. We were able to read the the original contract, which did have a clause in it to expand services, right?
Right.
My only concern is that I don't see that there is a sunset time on this, which is something that I had specifically asked for, whether it be 90 days or what have you. I don't want to get into the habit of using them and being lazy on the RFP and not getting one out. So I think you're gonna have to stay in constant communication with your chair, because again, your interpretation of the procurement policy is a little bit different from my interpretation of the procurement policy. And I believe, Johan, did you review the procurement policy as it pertains to this particular legislation? Can you speak on that, please?
Yes, I had an opportunity to review it, looked at those sections that we specifically talked about, 6C, 6D. And it seems like we're gonna have to give, if we do this without an RFP initially, a breakdown of why. It's basically making it a competitive bid. You have to go out and make sure you got to explain your process and why you're doing this. And I think that in terms of your concern, Council President, like something's gonna have to specifically be stated that we're gonna come with a time frame, because there is no time frame, and you don't want to just run on forever and ever. But you're gonna issue an RFP, you said, a little later. So
Yeah, a
can we
little later.
come up with a time period when you're gonna do it?
Mhm.
And that can, in and of itself, in effect, be a sunset clause, because you know that it's going out.
Okay, that's all the questions I have.
Actually, I do have a question, Madam President.
Okay, thank you.
I know
Go
you
ahead.
guys, you kind of touched on it, but just, I guess, explain it to me as a layman person who doesn't know anything about building inspection. So how do we ensure like efficiency of these inspectors, that being that they're being paid by the hour? How do they not run up the hours if they're going out to a building and they're there half an hour, an hour longer than needed to be? Like, how do we ensure that type of efficiency?
Well, from experience, if there's, depending on the units, a multiple dwelling inspection can take up to 90 minutes to, but if there are more units in the building, it's going to take longer. So yeah, my second deputy will try and monitor that as we go along. We might have to audit some of these from time to time to make sure that, the time limits are being, respected. So we're gonna have to watch it too. Yeah.
Thank you.
There's-
That's the only question I have.
Sure, there's 2 questions that I have, unless Councilmember Thompson has a question.
Go ahead, Councilman Potteet.
Okay, so Commissioner Holder, we're gonna issue an RFP. Just for the record, when do you think the RFP is gonna be issued?
For the record, just to get this going, I think, Labella will be pushing forward for the next, I would say until mid-September. So I'm looking at November, possibly getting the RFP out once we get some momentum going. So the state is pleased with our progress as they are watching us right now.
Yeah, I think it's the pleasure of council, and guys, stop me if I'm wrong, that we get one out within three months. We understand now it's an emergency and time is short, and this has to happen before August. And I get that. But in the next 3 months, which puts us in September, you should have time to weather this storm and be able to get the RFP out. Does that sound like a reasonable date to move that up to September from November?
Yeah, so that sounds reasonable, and and understand that Labella is aware that we're trying to get this thing expedited, and they will be an RFP, going out. So I've been very, transparent with them on this.
Yeah, and I think what you're gonna find, you may very well find that Labella will be the low bidder again. The thing that we just have to make sure is that in January of 2022, one of the things that the New York State Comptroller pointed out was things not getting approved properly and therefore not getting through the whole process, and the fact that we had to put procurement policies in place. And we want to just make sure that if we do something like this for future, Commissioner, okay, right now we're allowing this, okay, or depending on what the vote is, okay, for future, we have to have some vision ahead, right? And what we should be doing, if we're not going to go out to bid, we definitely have to have 2 additional competitive pricing situations, okay? That's why I said this being a temporary fix, just to get us moving and going and showing New York State that we're trying to fix the issues that your department has. I think that, that serves both of us, right? It gives you enough time to be able to put an RFP together that's comprehensive and that we don't miss out on something based on rushing. I will say that with city got the letter back in April, it is June. We have to be more proactive, no matter how busy our department is, okay?
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. And Clerk Walters, we all get busy. If you can make a tickler so that come September, we either see the RFP or we can reach back out to Commissioner Holder to ask where the RFP is. Commissioner, that my second question is away from this, the solar permitting process, because we keep getting questions, and since you're here, have you started to outsource that to Labella too, or is there something that you either need from us or something that has to happen before that can happen as well?
No, we're just being a little cautious that, before we start farming that out, we want to make sure that we are adhering to the 25 requirements for a unified solar permit. And once I'm comfortable with the way we're processing it, yeah, Labella will be involved in that. And I think that's part of the services that they do provide. They've done these before, but I just want to make sure in-house that we're processing it, as it's only been a month and a half, right? Yeah.
Right, understood.
Yeah,
So
okay.
again, for the record, please get back to us with the date when that's going to happen, just so when constituents reach out to us, we can communicate to them that on this date, whatever date that is, that they should be expecting the process to speed up a little bit.
Yes, certainly, I certainly will.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Okay.
Any other questions? No, I think I'm good.
All right. So I will keep going. Thank you, Commissioner.
Oh, thank you, Council.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Item number 16, consumer protections for information purposes only. Item number 17 is on the agenda from Public Safety and ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an amended contract with Tyler Technologies for additional public safety software modules. Item number 18 on the agenda from Public Safety, an ordinance to retroactively reduce funding for the position of computer console and reallocate funds to optimize organizational structure. Item number 19 from Public Safety on the agenda, an ordinance authorizing the creation of a second personnel associate position in the Department of Public Safety.
Can I just stop you right there?
Sure, please. please.
Okay, with that, that is a second personnel associate position. And my understanding was that position was not in the budget. So how is that being funded?
So I did speak to the commissioner, and he mentioned they're doing the staff reallocations in order to create funding for this. And as he explained, the people that they're moving over, and I don't get the union levels correct, but they're at a certain level where as they're moving over, he actually has to increase funding to then have them move over into that position.
So that's for the other two positions. Right? I believe that's for the other two positions for 20 and 21. 19 is adding the personnel. Let me see the referral. Hang on.
Check as
Give me
well.
2 seconds. You can move on. We could go back to it.
And then also with 19, we can call it, right? If that's the case, then I'm happy to call it for the next meeting. Item number 20 on the agenda from Public Safety and ordinance authorizing the increase of funding for a third position of crime analyst in the Department of Public Safety. 21, agenda Public Safety and ordinance authorizing the increase in funding for one position of records clerk in the Department of Public Safety. Item number 22 on the agenda, also from Public Safety, and ordinance authorizing the annual National Night Out event. And that's all that I have, but let's go back to 19. Is there clarity there or?
Yeah, just hang on. For some reason, I got kicked out of the internet
Let me
here.
check as well.
Can you please go in, if you're able to, go into Granicus and just read me that referral letter for item number 19?
Let me check as well. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. All right. Okay, does everyone have it or should I read it? Then I'm happy to read it if everyone doesn't have it.
No, you can go ahead and read it. This is
Sure.
good.
The Department of Public Safety requests that the City Council adopt an ordinance to create a second position of personal associate. The Civil Service Commission adopted the creation of this position on February 21, 2024. Please find attached a job specification for the position. The salary funding for this position will come from budget line A3120.101 salary, and will be in the will be in the amount of $63,752. So it states here it is in the budget. I'm not sure if it's a new position and it's a reallocation, or if this was in the budget from last year.
No, it says create a second position. And it says that the funding for the position is coming from budget line A3120.101 salary, and will be in the amount of $63,752. So that's the salary. And where are the benefits coming from? How are we budgeting for the benefits?
I tell you what, why don't we do this? And sorry for not having more clarity. Why don't we call for this? Change this from A to C? And let me get
Clerk,
those questions
is that
answered.
the proper procedure, or we call once we go for a vote? For item number 19? We could hold it on the floor and then it will come back on the agenda? Okay, so once we get to the vote on that, we're gonna hold it on the floor?
Yeah, let's. Is that-
Okay,
Okay,
so, all right, and item number 20 is on the agenda, you said?
it is.
Okay. Allowing increase of funding.
Here we go.
And that was just salary differences. And that was a civil service thing, correct? If I'm not
Right.
mistaken? That
Right.
was bring it to its level. And, 21, ordinance authorizing increase in funding.
I believe 20 and 21 are connected.
Those are all just increasing salaries.
Right, because the people that they're bringing over are at a higher level. So to then bring them over, that they have to increase the salaries.
Okay, and did you do your add-ons?
I did it earlier with
Okay.
buildings
Okay, so those are both 25 and 26 are both on the agenda.
on the agenda.
Yeah, no problem.
Cool, and that's all I have.
All right, so, we're just gonna wait just a minute. Does anybody need to take a break? Okay. Yeah. So why don't we go forward with finance and planning? The mayor has asked to speak regarding item number 19. But let's continue with finance and planning.
All right, number 23, Department of Planning and Community Development. An ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with Brownfield Redevelopment Solutions, Inc. for planning and community engagement services. And that's on the agenda. And the add-on, number 24, for Finance and Planning. Office of the Mayor, an ordinance authorizing the reallocation of American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA funds, and that is also on the agenda. And that is all I have for finance and planning. Thank you.
Okay. And we're just waiting on the mayor to connect. And then we will go into our roll call and our legislative agenda. Now, Vernon, if you could just be patient for a minute. Thank you so much. Okay, everybody, we're just waiting on the mayor to come online. We're gonna take a 3-minute break. Thank you so much.
Hi.
Welcome, Madam Mayor.
Hi, how are you? I didn't know if I kind of just popped in. I didn't know if y'all were ready for me to answer any question yet.
That's all right, no problem. So item number 19,
Mm-hmm.
adding
I
a
heard it.
position. Okay,
So, when we did the budget, we have two people in the personnel division right now. There are cops being paid about $114,000 a year who are clearly not HR professionals. So, one of the things that we have been saying, that the union has been saying, is that we have too many cops inside doing civilian jobs. And so when we did the 2024 budget, we took those two, personnel officer positions and we created two personnel associate positions. We did the same thing with someone who was working and doing IT, so that they could go back on the street, and a few other positions that over the years, for the past few decades, for some reason in the police department, they were using officers. I think sometimes when people got injured, they just put them on desk jobs and it stayed that way. We know that we have a shortage in the police department, and to kind of pay someone almost double who doesn't have a background in HR and personnel management, to do that job instead of having those police on the street didn't make sense. And so we did that. What we
Madam Mayor?
found for some, yes?
Just a quick question, because I think I could shorten this a little bit. At the very beginning, you said that you had budgeted for it. Why does this referral say create a second position?
We had done, when we did the budget, we had put it in the budget. For some reason, only one went into the final budget. And so when we went to advertise for the two positions, we realized that there was only one that had been there. And so they had to go back now and create it, since for one reason or another, I don't know, it was a mistake. It got dropped. One of the positions got dropped from the budget in the process of finalizing the budget. And so, we need the two positions and not the one, so we could bring both of those police officers outside and put them back in the street to do the work that they've actually been trained and hired and are being paid to do.
Okay, so the position was not budgeted then.
Right.
So are we taking funds from salary savings from January to now?
Yep.
Okay, that clears a lot up.
Yeah. And you asked about their benefits. I mean, their benefits would come from the regular benefit line. This is a regular employee and not a grant funded employee, like we usually talk about when we're talking about someone in urban renewal or in the youth bureau being hired through a grant. So, I mean, there'd be a standard employee.
Okay, any other questions from council?
No, I'm just here, and I'll go back on mute and off video in case there are some other questions y'all have for another piece of legislation.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Item number 19, Chair. What say you?
I'm muted. I guess the question I have, since we do have the mayor, which is this then will be in the budget for next year, correct?
Yes, it will be in the budget for next year. I mean, right now we have about 30 cop positions open. We're short about 30 police, and we just had 3 more transfer to Yonkers. So we have immense savings in the police department and salaries for which we can pay for this position easily. And while we're hiring another 15, there's going to be more that's going to leave. So there's going to be savings in those positions. So this is covered. This is not going to add anything to the taxes for the city or increase it, but it is going to take another police officer and put that police officer on the street where we're now short.
Got it.
So this is very, very important. We are, Captain Addison is texting me right now. We're at 161 police right now. And as of Friday, after Lieutenant Master Giorgio retires, we'll be at 160. Our full complement is 208.
So
We are 48 officers short. We need our officers on the street, not doing desk work.
Got it. So I'm fine, Council President, keeping this on the agenda.
Okay, no problem. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
moving on, roll call.
Councilman Boxill,
Present.
thank you. Councilwoman Brown is absent. Councilman Potteet,
Present and calling in from the state of Maryland, where I dropped my daughter off to see her grandma.
ah, nice, thank you. Councilman Thompson,
Here.
Council President Gleason,
Here.
thank you. Have a quorum, Madam President.
Okay, let's start with the legislative agenda, legislation and public works, item number 1.
Charter Review Commission and ordinance authorizing the engagement of the National Civic League for the 24 Charter Review Commission. So moved.
Second.
On the question? On the question, I just wanted to point out the reason why we're not going out to bid on this particular item is because the Charter Review Commission had delineated every organization that they tried to reach out to help them with this particular project. And NCL was the only one who was able to fit the bill. So I just wanted to make sure that that was out in the public. With that being said, roll call.
Councilman Boxill,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
All right, number 2, an ordinance authorizing the Department of Management Services to issue a request for proposals, RFP for support contract for the Dell VX Rail environment. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Boxill,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Three.
All right, number 3, Department of Public Works and ordinance authorizing the transfer of funds for purchase of a new vehicle for the Department of Public Works utilizing ARPA funds. So moved.
Second.
On the question, if anybody was able to review, DPW Commissioner and the head of maintenance actually sent over other quotes for, comparative vehicles. And I want to just say this is the only one that's available. And it's, no other further questions from anybody? Okay, roll call.
Councilman Boxill,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye, and I just want to thank Commissioner Bush and Vinnie Rodriguez for actually, working really hard to get these prices in that I had requested within the last 3 days. So it's greatly appreciated. Thank you so much.
All right, number 4, Department of Public Works and ordinance authorizing the Department of Public Safety to advertise for resurfacing of various streets in the city of Mount Vernon, New York, 2024. So moved.
Second.
On the question? On the question, I just would like everybody to know that we are coming down to the end of our paving contract. For us to be able to pave going forward, we have to make sure that we go out for a bid. So that's what this is all about. We want to make sure that all those streets that everybody has been calling and complaining about, that we get it covered, literally covered. Okay, roll call.
Councilman Boxill,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
All right, number 5, Department of Public Works and ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into contractual agreement with Woodward and Current Engineering for engineering and architectural design services. So moved.
Second.
On the question, number 5, that's for the roofing, right? At the police department? Was that for the roofing, number 5?
It is, that I'm happy to,
Yeah, can you give some
Chime in.
information, because I think that the public deserves to know that we're trying to repair some structures here in the city of Mount Vernon and how important it is. So if you could put a few words.
So, our DPW is great. They work very, very hard, and in many ways, they're overwhelmed. On top of that, there's about $20 million of capital work to be done to our city-owned buildings. Thanks to the work that the administration has done to get those dollars in, whether it's HUD Section 108, band funding, or ARPA funding. And DPW thinks that it's best, and I think that they're right, that we hire an outside consultant to actually come up with scopes of work to make sure that as we're bringing in bids, that the bids are accurate and exactly what we need, versus that being done by DPW, who is overwhelmed and may not have the attention to detail to get those bids out like an outside vendor would be. Secondly, especially with the HUD 108 loans, there's a lot of compliance around that. And we've gotten in trouble with HUD by not being in compliance with previous grants. And so this vendor would also be helping with compliance, such as making sure that we're paying prevailing wages on those HUD funds and work like that. So I think this makes a lot of sense. It'll help save the city money and get the work done efficiently.
Thank you so much, Councilman Potteet, and thank you for being so involved in that process. I think that a lot of damage has been done to police headquarters because of that roof. And this is a step in a great direction. With that being said, roll call.
Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Okay.
All right. Number 6, Department of Public Works and Ordinance authorizing the payment for the retroactive repair of the water fountain at the Gramerton Avenue roundabout. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Anybody have any questions? Okay,
Roll call.
that would help, right? Roll call.
Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
I cannot vote for this. This was retroactive work, although I know that the contractor did do the work based on the reports that I read. But one of the things New York State Comptroller's report said in January 2022 is to make sure that city council and processes and procedures are followed properly, so that payment could be made expeditiously and nobody is held up, but no approval came to council for this, so I cannot vote for it. No.
Okay, so that's a nay. We have 3 ayes, 1 nay. The legislation needs a second vote to pass.
All right. Thank you. Number 7, an ordinance authorizing the Director of Sustainability to attend the 2024 National Association of County and City Health Officials Conference, July 22nd to 26th, 2024. So moved.
Second.
On the question? On the question, this is free to the city of Mount Vernon, the Director of Sustainability. There is no cost, no, everything is covered by the organization that is hosting. Thank you so much. Roll call.
Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
All right. Number 8, an ordinance authorizing the release of requests for proposal for engineering consultant services for the roof replacement project at the police headquarters and court building. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Okay,
All right. Department of Public Works and Ordinance authorizing the release of a request for proposals for the procurement of technology companies to conduct a citywide imagery and LIDAR scan. So moved.
Second.
On the question, would you like to explain what that'll be doing, Councilman Boxell?
How do I explain this now? No, I wish, management services, hold on, let me get the Victoria letter. One second, sorry. All right, so this is coming from the Office of the Mayor. I'm writing to request your approval to release the request for proposal. Let me skip down. The primary objectives of this project is to create a robust data environment and assets management system that will significantly enhance our capability to maintain and improve the city's infrastructure by leveraging advanced imaging and LIDR technology. So this is talking about pavement condition assessment, where they accurately determine the current state of our roads, allowing for informed decision-making regarding maintenance and repairs. Sidewalk condition evaluation, identify hazards and areas in need of improvement to ensure pedestrian safety. Traffic infrastructure and signage analysis. So this captures the locations of all traffic signs and equipment to maintain and optimize traffic flow safely through a detailed examination of existing infrastructure and signage. And it does also a tree inventory, which develops a comprehensive inventory of the city's trees, facilitating better management and care of our urban forests. And lastly, it's comprehensive assessment management, which collects and analyzes data on various other city assets, leading to improved efficiency in asset management and resource allocation. So that's.
Excellent, thank you. Any questions? Roll call.
Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Thank you.
Number 10. Recreation Department, an ordinance granting permission to the Recreation Department to co-sponsor Rose Linguiza's 7th annual Wakanda celebration at Trepagan School on August 31st, 2024. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Okay.
All right, number 11, Recreation. An ordinance authorizing the Department of Recreation to co-sponsor the backpack event with Henry Allen and the Buddy White Project. So moved.
Second.
On the question? I just want to say this is a great event, and I hope the city of Mount Vernon comes out. Is there a date on that referral letter?
So,
No. Well, we'll announce it going forward. Thank you so much. Roll call.
Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Okay.
The backpack event is August 10th, 2024. That's a Saturday. And with a rain date of August the 11th, which is the following Sunday.
If I may.
Sure.
Got it?
Yeah, I was just about to say, it's usually always the same time, excuse me, as they do Mount Vernon Proud Day, because Mount Vernon Proud Day is also August 10th, is always the second Saturday of August every year. And it's at Brush Park from 12 noon to 7 p.m. And this is usually done at the Dole Center, the
Perfect.
backpack.
Excellent. We got to get your flyer out there.
Yeah, it's out there and we have to get it out there. And also not to be mistaken, Mount Vernon Proud Day is not to be mistaken for any LGBTQ activities. That Mount Vernon Proud is saying either you were born you were raised or you live in Mount Vernon and you are a proud Mount Vernonite and the colors are maroon and gold. So Mount Vernon Proud Day is everyone coming to celebrate with their families. There's many activities in and throughout the community. It is totally free, all the activities, all of the food, ices and all that other stuff for kids and adults. Everything is free on that day at Brush Park.
Okay, roll call.
Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Okay.
All right, number 12, this is the Office of City Clerk, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Mount Vernon, New York, acknowledging the appointment of members to the Mount Vernon Charter Review Commission by the mayor. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Okay.
All right, number 13, Office of the City Clerk. A resolution of the City Council, of the City of Mount Vernon, New York, acknowledging the appointment of a member by the commission to the Mount Vernon Charter Review Commission. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Okay.
All right, number 14, Office of the City Clerk, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Mount Vernon, New York, appointing members to the Mount Vernon Charter Review Commission by the council. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Okay.
And the add-on number 26, for management services, an ordinance authorizing Department of Management Services to utilize ARPA funds for 1-year support contract for the VX Rail server environment. So moved.
Second.
On the question? On the question, hearing none, roll call.
Aye.
Sorry, I'll repeat, my mic wasn't on. Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
thank you. Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
and Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, that is it for LPW. Human Resources has nothing this evening. And we're on to Public Safety and Codes. Councilman Potteet? Oh, hold on, the mayor is raising her hand.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to go back to the roundabout item. I guess that is number 6. So it actually was mistakenly listed as retroactive. It was not retroactive. This was passed by the council on October 11th, 2023. It was held by the Board of Estimate at that time because the code that was used, the budget code that was used, was incorrect. And so by the time it was sent back to the city council, it was now late and looked retroactive, but it had already been approved by the city council and sent back to the city council by the Board of Estimate so we could change the budget code. But it wasn't retroactive work. And the email has been sent. It was approved on October 11th, 2023 by the city council.
Okay, so Commissioner Bush was here on Monday, who said that he had made a mistake.
Well,
That,
he just
that they
researched
did
it.
the work without the approval.
He just researched it, right? Because
Okay.
we do a lot of work. So he researched it. He sat with Lamari. He pulled the information. He pulled the legislation. He could not remember why it went back to council, but he just found that, and the email has been sent to you. You know, when you don't have an answer, you say a mea culpa, right? And now he went back and he did the research and he was able to find out what actually happened. And it was indeed improved by the council on October 11th, 2023. It was sent back by the Board of Estimate because at that time, the comptroller
questioned the budget code that was being used. It had to be corrected. And we couldn't correct it on the floor of the Board of Estimate because it was a budget code change. So it had to go back to the council. And then the history of what happened had been lost. And he, he's not going to challenge the council. He just fell on the sword on Monday and said, okay, I made a mistake. But
No, that's understandable, but it went through so many hands and the vote's already been taken. So it'll definitely come to a second vote.
Okay, I just wanted
somebody-
to, on the record, clarify what
No,
happened.
and I appreciate that, but the vote's already been taken. So if somebody wants to, Clerk Walters, retract it, my vote is still remaining the same because I haven't had an opportunity to research what you're telling me.
You don't have to.
Okay, I wasn't council president in October, so I don't know what happened with the Board of
So,
Estimate. contract.
right, so at that moment, you won't retract the vote, you'll just wait for the second vote, because if your vote remains the same, it wouldn't, yeah, so.
But just for the public record, I wanted to state that.
That's good.
The public
Yeah, I
record
think
is
that's
very
important.
important.
Yes, absolutely, Mayor.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to public safety and codes.
All right. Item number 15 from buildings and ordinance authorizing the transfer of funds within the Department of Buildings budget to hire additional staff for code enforcement. A building clerk, so moved.
Second,
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
aye,
Council President Gleason.
Hold on a minute. Aye.
Item number 16 from Public Safety, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an amended contract with Tyler Technologies for additional public safety software modules. So moved.
second,
On the question? Can you explain this a little bit, Councilman Potteet?
I'm happy to. So there was a discussion on if this should be an RFP for these services. I believe there's two avenues through our procurement policy where this probably shouldn't need to go to an RFP. One, it falls under professional services. Two, we got Tyler from the state, and the state does its own bidding process. So that's my belief as to why we should move forward with Tyler. And the third reason is PD has been in my ear about this for about 6 weeks now, maybe even longer, saying that if this doesn't get done relatively fast, there's several bad things that are going to happen without having this technology in really as soon as possible. So that's why then I'm putting this forward.
Okay, thank you. Roll call? Any other questions, actually? I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Any other questions? Roll call.
Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
aye,
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Thank you.
Item number 17 from Public Safety, an ordinance to retroactively reduce funding for the position of computer counsel and reallocate funds to optimize organizational structure. So moved.
second,
On the question? On the question. I think this is also, if I'm not mistaken, Madam Mayor, if you're still on, this is also taking police officers out of the police department, putting them on the street. Again, retroactive. I just 2 seconds. The computer console was not filled from January till today, correct? And that's why it's being allocated to.
Yes,
I can't get into my-
that is an open position.
Okay, thank you
So
so
we're
much.
Using the salary savings.
Thank you so much. Okay, roll call.
Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Okay.
Item number 18 from Public Safety, an ordinance authorizing the creation of a second personnel associate position in the Department of Public Safety. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Okay.
Item number 19, and actually, you know what, I will wait till we get on the question. Item number 19 from Public Safety, an ordinance authorizing the increase of funding for the third position of crime analyst in the Department of Public Safety. So moved.
Second.
On the question?
You know, if it's the pleasure of council, I would like to, you know, with the staffing reallocations that PD is doing, if this is going to be typical for the next couple of sessions, to actually have someone come from PD and just kind of talk through what their thinking is when it comes to the reallocations of staff and funding and defunding of certain positions.
Well, I think that's a great idea. And I also think that anytime a commissioner has anything on the agenda, they should be here, just like Commissioner Holder and Commissioner Perez were today.
Right.
So Mayor, maybe you could effectuate that? Yes, go ahead.
I can speak to this. This is not a restructuring. The position was budgeted as an entry-level position of crime analyst or in the PD. The person who was selected has over 10 years of employment with the police department and is a CSEA employee. And as a CSEA employee, when you have 10 years of experience with CSEA and you get a different position, you automatically go to the top step of that position. You do not start back at the bottom. This is the same process that happened in the city clerk's office with the financial person as well as the kind of executive assistant in the clerk's office. So you had two people in the clerk's office who were promoted. And since they have over 10 years of experience, they did not start at the bottom step of the new position. They went to the top step automatically. So this is a contractual issue that is just standard for CSEA. This is not a reorg of the position. It's just putting the right amount of funding in that line for the person who was chosen, being that they're not a new person, they're a seasoned person, and you want to be able to provide a employment pipeline within an organization. And when there are new positions that are created, you don't want to just keep bringing in new people. They have to be trained. So we have a seasoned civilian vet who is being promoted, and with over 10 years of service, they go to the top step of the new position.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Any other questions? Roll call.
Thank you. Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Thank you.
Item number 20, an ordinance authorizing the increase in funding for one position of records clerk in the Department of Public Safety. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Thank you.
Item number 21 from Public Safety, an ordinance authorizing the annual night out event. So moved.
Second.
On the question?
I just got to say on the question, this is one of my favorite events all year. I don't have the legislation in front of me, but we should definitely in our next meeting make sure that the public knows when this is.
How are you for you?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, roll call.
Okay. Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Thank you.
And if I
have two-
may, before you,
Please.
finish, I'm sorry. This will be National Night Out. Event is on Tuesday, August sixth, 2024, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Hartley Park.
Thank you, Councilmember Thompson.
Yeah.
I'm number 24. I have two add-ons. Department of Buildings, an ordinance to establish multi-dwelling inspection fees to enable the Buildings Department to enforce the uniform code. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Thank you.
Item number 25, also from Buildings, revision of current contract with La Bella to include building safety inspections. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call. But one thing, this is item number 25.
25.
The one thing I would like to say is thank you to Commissioner Holder and the mayor's administration for getting us this information as quickly as possible. I also want to just caution that we're not going to make this a long-term contract. This is just something that we're going to do in the temporary. That way that we can adhere to everything that the state is asking us to do for them, which you'll notice that there are some additions of a position to the buildings department that is necessary and recommended by New York State. With that being said, roll call.
Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Thank you.
I believe that is it for our agenda this evening. Do we have something else? Did I do finance?
We did.
Is ARPA on the agenda or was that pulled?
We did that when we were waiting on the mayor,
It's
remember?
done already.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
Number
added.
Can I
23,
have
right?
a quick 3 minutes to give you, and I think it's important, we do some of these updates at BOE, but it doesn't.
It's 110 degrees in here.
So I will be very, very
Keep that in
quick.
mind.
I will be very, very quick because this is so much public discussion and more misinformation than actual information. So with the building department, we called in the Department of State. They have been working and providing technical assistance. Yes, they did send a letter of what we need to do. We do meet with them online every 2 weeks to go through our progress. And the state is, quite happy with our progress. On the next agenda, you will have the revised Mount Vernon Buildings Ordinance Code that will be revised and updated in the city of Mount Vernon for the first time in 30 years, even though the rules have changed and the ordinances changed on the state level 19 times, and Mount Vernon has failed to update the building and fire ordinances 19 times over the past 30 years. So working with the council and the building department leadership and the state, we will come into compliance with that. So you will have that at your next meeting. We thank you for that. We talked about the, you passed tonight, and we thank you for passing the bid for us to go out for an RFP for professional services for architecture and engineering. The city has 2 engineers for the entire city. And so our engineers are not necessarily construction engineers. So thank you for allowing us to go out for bid on that, because that will help us with the roof for not only the police department and any brick pointing, but we did get $8 million from HUD that will be used to work on our firehouses and bring them into code, as well as our, some of our other city funding, the $2.7 million for the Dole Center. We've received $1 million for the Armory, and we're hoping for another 7.7 and possibly another $1 million for the Armory. And so with all of these major capital improvements that we'll see in the city of Mount Vernon, this will go a long way in allowing us to do it the right way. With the $8 million from HUD, the fire department said, well, can't you just give us the money? And we have a lot of people who work here who can build and contract. No, it's federal money. And so we have to go out and get a professional engineer to help us write the codes or the the RFPs and the scope of work, and then we have to go out to bid for the project. But for a city that probably has not had a capital budget in over 50 years, we probably have about 20 million that we're going to be able to cull together to start doing some very, very much needed repairs. And we also have ARPA money, over $2 million in ARPA money that we'll be able to allocate to those projects. So thank you so much to the council for working with us and helping us.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you.
We
And-
didn't do finance and planning. It's cut off on my page. So we have to actually
Yeah,
go back to finance and planning. Councilman Boxell.
yeah, and I did get that email from Commissioner Bush with that legislation for the roundabout. So it seems to check out. All right.
Finance and planning.
Number 23, finance and. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I went to, all right, number 22, the first one. Department of Planning and Community Development and Ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with Brownfield Redevelopment Solutions, Inc. for planning and community engagement services. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Thank you.
And the add-on number 23. This is from the Office of the Mayor, an ordinance authorizing the reallocation of America Rescue Plan ARPA funds. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Thank you.
That seems to be the end of our agenda, really. So I will entertain any comments that anybody would like to say. Of course, keeping it short on council, because it's now 112 degrees in council chambers.
If I may.
Don't do well with the heat. Go ahead,
Yes, I would just.
Councilman Thompson, and keeping it brief.
Absolutely. As I would like to remind everyone, we are in our summer months. So next month in July and August, there's only one meeting. That is the second Wednesday of every of July and August. So those are the only meetings, one in July and one in August, just so everyone is informed.
Councilman Boxell?
I just wanted to also promote the Young Professionals Gala, the 5th anniversary gala this Friday, right?
Saturday. Oh my
That's
goodness.
Saturday.
Aren't you a member?
Something like that. Saturday, June 29th. And that's gonna be at 7 p.m. at the Radisson Plaza Hotel New Rochelle.
How
So
much?
7 o'clock. Please come out.
No, how much?
I think it's 160, yeah, 165. Right?
Thank you,
No,
Councilman.
no.
I'd just like to point out that Councilwoman Brown is being honored at that event on Saturday night. Unfortunately, I am unable to go, but I did sponsor somebody else to go.
You sponsored me?
Well, I
Oh.
don't know. I don't think so. But it is a great event. And if you want to learn about the young professionals, our Councilman Boxell is a part of the young professionals. Hit him up, email him, ask him how he could participate. With that being said, I will, Councilman Potteet, do you have anything?
I don't. But thank
And
you.
Madam Mayor, I'm not asking you. Okay? Okay. So, motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn this meeting, so moved.
Second,
Second.
third.
Okay, roll call?
Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
And I would just like to take a moment to thank our auxiliary police that come out for every public session, work session, and make sure that we're safe. They also stay around to make sure everybody gets to their cars okay. And I just wanted to say thank you very much. We really appreciate your service. They're doing this free of charge. They come here and they're diligent. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Have a good night, Mount Vernon.